And Danny, first and foremost, great to see you. I think the last time we spoke was just after you won the title.
Yeah, briefly, yeah.
And I've got to say, what an absolutely incredible performance. 2 days' notice. You hadn't really trained. Your coach said to you, did you fancy it? One of your stablemates unfortunately had to pull out of the fight just before that big fight. You stepped in, took the fight with both hands and, well, won the belt.
Here I am, yeah, British champion. Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Because I accepted the fight at, 2-3 days notice, in a way there was no pressure on me. So, you know, unlike other fights where you have the build up, the pressure gets you there, I had nothing to lose. You know, I don't think I was expected to win, not by a lot of people, other than the people inside my camp. So I could just go out there and have some fun.
I mean, stepping into that ring, the thing that I will say is throughout the day, throughout the build-up, you know, you were so relaxed. I mean, it was literally like you were just coming to watch the show, not take part in the main event and face a man who had knocked out the previous fancied sort of challenger, Joe Seabrook, and knocked him out in kind of emphatic fashion. So you were literally just so calm, so relaxed, and as I say, your performance showed why. But talk us through when you first got the call for that fight, when you first sort of knew you were going to fight on the main event. I mean, what were your first thoughts?
Well, to be honest with you, look, we're all fighting men. If someone phones you up and says, do you want to fight? You say yes, without thinking, without arguing. But the moment you put the phone down, you think, crap, what have I got myself into? Obviously, the missus wasn't too happy. I looked the man up on YouTube. Obviously, as you said, he's had a few good knockouts, and he looked quite powerful and dangerous. But at the same point, it's a fight. I've never backed down from a fight, and especially not for the British title. It's a huge title to win. It's got to be the biggest in the unlicensed scene with the Quest platform as well. And as I said before, I was relaxed. I wasn't expected to win, so I could go out there and just enjoy myself without putting any pressure on myself. So,
I mean, I've got to say, the scenes in your corner after that fight, you could hear the screaming, you could hear your sort of corner men going absolutely crazy when you won that title.
Well, if you watch the video, all you can hear is me missus. I only took 2 people up with me, which on the rematch that's going to be 100 people. But my missus, you could hear her over everyone. And yeah, George, because Stephen couldn't make the corner, so it was George. I think he told me after that it was his first time he's done the corner, which was news to me. But yeah, look, we all enjoyed the victory, especially a knockout. You can't get better than that, and you know.
And a highlight reel knockout.
It weren't too bad. But obviously the corner, I think they were more relieved that they didn't have to do anything. I mean, they didn't have to speak to me once. So no, it was good, and you know, the memory of that will stay with me for a while.
Oh, well, I mean, I've got to say, when I got the call and it was Krzystof Murawski wanting the rematch, I was kind of I was thinking about it and thinking, well, you know, you've kind of lost that fight. I mean, obviously, you can say that you were a late stand-in, he hadn't trained or prepared for you, but on the flip side, like you say, you hadn't trained or prepared.
Trained at all.
So when you heard that, I mean, I know, funnily enough, you said off camera that you bumped into Murawski in the petrol station quite close to Brentwood afterwards, and he was then saying, I want the rematch.
Yeah, as you say, yeah, we left the arena, we're driving home, and obviously the first petrol gauge you see, he said, pull in here, let's get some beers for the way home. Not the driver, on my hand. And we pulled in there, and he's in there with a lot of his supporters. The first thing he said to me is, I want the rematch. I agreed. But I did say it was up to you, but you know, I think that's what a lot of people say when they lose a fight. I want the rematch. I wasn't expecting him to actually follow through with it. I thought he'd wake up the next day. Obviously, it wasn't a close fight. I couldn't see why he'd want to go again. But fair play to him. He obviously wants a rematch. He thinks he can do something different, and you've got nothing but respect for the man for that. There's a lot of people that wouldn't want a rematch, especially after losing in that way.
Of course. I mean, when you now kind of approach this fight and you're looking at it, and you've got obviously a long, full training camp to prepare for it, you know, how are you going to approach this camp?
Pretty much the same way I approach every camp. I'm not going to do anything different. It's just an interesting one because I can't see how he can fight any different. He can't bully me on the inside. I don't think he can outbox me on the outside. So I can only prepare the way I'm going to prepare. I mean, I've got to expect for a completely different man in the rematch, obviously, but in all the fights you've watched of his, he's boxed exactly the same way. So I'm just going to prepare exactly as I always prepare. Like, I'm a very, very strong man at 90 kilo, and if I get inside and bully him, there's not much anyone at that weight can do to keep me off. So yeah, I'm just going to prepare as I always do, but hopefully less of the pub.
Definitely less of the pub. I mean, I suppose it's going to be a hard one for Murawski. Obviously, he's going to be motivated. He's going to be sort of hungry to come back and prove that, you know, well, it was a late change of opponent. I wasn't ready, and obviously the result reflected that. But on the flip side, he's now stepping into a fight knowing he's been stopped by yourself, and
he was hurt.
And he was hurt. I mean, you could see that from the moment that you kind of clipped him. He turned away slightly from one of the shots. You caught him on the side.
He was a left hook. He's ducked down. I've caught him with a little uppercut, and yeah, Joe, there's going to be two ways, isn't there? Listen, when someone's been hurt, they're either going to go in there tentative, and obviously that's even worse for them. But I don't think he's that type of man, or he's going to go in there gung ho, which should provide fireworks. Should be a lot more fun. But whatever it is, I'm going to be ready, and there's going to be the same result.
I've got to say, when you step up the weight divisions, obviously there's more excitement with that kind of one-punch knockout. But for that fight, I mean, in terms of a highlight reel knockout, in terms of a kind of, if you were writing a script for a film and you come in 2 days' notice to face the sort of the ferocious sort of big punching champion, and to do that to him was pretty unbelievable from ringside. So could it get any better than that?
Honestly, no. No, you can't get better. Listen, the first time you win the title was obviously special. I wasn't expected to win. It's a lot of things. We were in the blue corner, and I think out of the blue corner, 12 out of 14 had lost. There was no fanfare around us. We had no fans on our side. So going in there, finishing it the way I did, especially because I hadn't been training. If it had gone on for another minute, I'd have been absolutely knackered. So I'm lucky it got out of the way in 1 minute. But no, winning that, saying that style, with no one expecting you to do it, it doesn't get better. But it can be just as good when I do the same thing.
Absolutely, and especially like you say, I mean, that time round you didn't really have anybody in your corner to cheer you on except for your corner team.
And Sam Fordy, who, if you hear all you have to do is watch the replay. You can hear them over everyone else. So that's all I need. But there will be a lot more there for the rematch. And
I'm sure on his side of things, he's going to want to bring an army of fans with him to
whether or not they want to watch him after that got done to him. They might think, oh no, we don't want to back him. He's already lost. That's why I watch him get knocked out again.
Sure.
No, I mean, look, he seemed a well-supported lad, and there was a good few boys in that petrol gauge on the way home.
Well, listen, it was, as I say, an absolutely incredible main event, an incredible performance. I've watched the highlights back. I've watched that sort of, I'll call it the finishing punch, but that sort of looping right uppercut that kind of came from your hips, hit him on the chin, and from there on there wasn't going to be any coming back.
No, yeah, the moment it landed, I felt, I've got him here. That's done. Just land punches, try and land them cleanly, which, if you watch the replays, the first two were rushed. They didn't land cleanly. But I knew the moment that hit him, he was on his way out. And yeah, hopefully we can do it all again.
Well, it's a mouth-watering fight in prospect, and it takes place on Saturday, September the 17th, at the famous Epsom Downs Racecourse in Surrey. The man standing in front of me now is the champion, and he will be defending his British Cruiserweight Championship against the former champion, Krzystof Murawski.
Thank you.